This tutorial is going to show you how to start out on the trailing leaf scarf. It has a leaf and Picot Foundation on the front side on the main color, and on the back on the contrasting color it just has a Picot Foundation. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to be using this comfy fingering weight yarn and a 2.5 millimeter crochet hook. So let's get started. The first thing we're going to start out is with one of the leaves. So I'm going to make my slip knot and then chain 7. Okay, and then we're going to do a foundation double crochet in the 3rd chain from the hook. So I have my yarn over, I'm going to insert my hook in the 3rd chain from the hook, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 1 loop on hook. That creates the foundation chain for the stitch. Then I'm going to finish my double crochet by doing the yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, we're going to do another foundation double crochet, and now we're going to go into the chain that we created here. So if you turn it, you can see that it makes a little like a V, like a chain. So you want to go under both those loops and then pull up a loop, yarn over and go through 1 loop. That creates the foundation chain for this stitch, and then yarn over and go through 2 twice, and that completes the double crochet. Next is a foundation half double crochet. So we're going to do a yarn over, we're going to go into those, under those 2 loops for the chain, pull up a loop, yarn over and go through 1, that makes the foundation chain, and then yarn over and go through all of them. That finishes the half double crochet. Next one is a foundation single crochet. So we're going to go back into that chain that we made from the foundation, go under those 2 loops and pull up a loop, yarn over and go through 1, that creates the foundation chain, and then yarn over and go through both, that completes a single crochet. Now we're going to chain 3, slip stitch in the 3rd chain from the hook, that creates the top of the leaf. Now we're going to work back down those chains that we created. So we're going to do a single crochet in the foundation single crochet, and do a half double crochet in the foundation half double crochet, and then we're going to do a double crochet in each of those foundation double crochets. Then we're going to chain 2, slip stitch back in that same chain where we did the first foundation double crochet, and then you can see we have chains left still. We're going to slip stitch in that next chain, chain 2, and then we are going to do an extended double crochet in that first chain. So we're going to skip these 2 chain, well, that matches these over here, and in that first chain we made, we're going to do an extended double crochet. So pull up a loop, yarn over and go through 1, that makes it an extended double crochet, and then yarn over and go through 2 twice, and that finishes the extended double crochet, and you have your first leaf. The next section is a picot. So we are going to chain 5, I'm going to slip stitch in the 4th chain from the hook and chain 1, that matches that chain that's left over here, Then we're going to do an extended double crochet, but we're going to work through the top of the last extended double crochet. So we're going to go through the top right here, pull up a loop, go through one, and then go through two twice. So that makes the picot. Now we're going to do another leaf. This time we're going to start with a chain 6 because we don't need that beginning chain. We're going to be working through the stitches we've already created. So we're going to chain 6, yarn over. We're going to do a foundation double crochet in the 3rd chain from the hook. So pull up a loop, yarn over and go through 1 loop to create your foundation chain, and then go through 2 loops twice to complete the double crochet. So we have another double crochet. We need to go under the 2 loops created for your foundation chain, pull up a loop, yarn over and go through 1 to create your new foundation chain, and then complete the double crochet. Now we need a foundation half double crochet. So go under those 2 loops, pick up a loop, go through 1 to make your chain, and then complete your half double crochet. Then we have a foundation single crochet. So under those 2 loops, pull up a loop, go through 1 to make your chain, and then go through both to complete your single crochet. Chain 3, slip stitch in the 3rd chain from the hook, and now we're going to work back down those chains. So single crochet in the foundation single crochet, half double crochet in the foundation half double crochet, and then double crochet in each of the foundation double crochets. Chain 2, slip stitch in the same chain that first foundation double crochet was made in, and slip stitch in that next chain. You can see we have 2 chains left. We're going to chain 2 so that matches on each side, and then we're going to do an extended double crochet through the top of this one. So again, we're going through those 2 loops, pull up a loop, and go through 1 to make it an extended double crochet, and then through 2 twice to complete it. So now we have 2 leaves. So let's do those again. So we're going to do the picot, chain 5, slip stitch in the 4th chain from the hook, chain 1, do an extended double crochet through the top of this extended double crochet. And now another leaf, so chain 6, do a foundation double crochet in that 3rd chain, another foundation double crochet, a foundation half double crochet, and a foundation single crochet. Chain 3, slip stitch in the 3rd chain, and then work back down the leaf with the single crochet, half double crochet, and 2 double crochets. Chain 2, And then we're going to slip stitch in that same chain and the next chain, chain 2, and then an extended double crochet. Okay, so this picot and leaf was the first repeat. I need to make a total of 10 repeats of a picot and then a leaf. So I have 9 more that I have to make, which will give me a total of 12 leaves and 11 picots. So in the pattern, you can also increase the width of the design depending if you wanted to make something other than a scarf. So there is a repeat in the pattern that's from here to here, and in order to do that you would do an additional 7 picots and leaves for each extra repeat that you're doing. Okay, so I've completed all 10 repeats, so I have a total of 12 leaves and 11 picots. And so then I did a chain 4, and I'm going to put in my stitch marker and set it aside. We are not going to turn on this one because the next step we're going to do is going to still be on the right side. Okay, so now we're going to work on the Picot Foundation for the contrasting color. So the first thing I'm going to do is chain 6. That's my slip knot. Chain 6. We're going to do the same picot that we did for this one, so we're going to slip stitch in the 4th chain from the hook, chain 1, and then we're going to do an extended double crochet in that first chain. Pick up a loop, go through 1, and then go through 2 twice. Okay, so the next picot we're going to chain 5, slip stitch in the 4th chain from the hook, chain 1, and then an extended double crochet through the top of that extended double crochet. So we're going through those 2 loops. Go through 1 and then go through 2 twice. So this was my first repeat. I'm going to do a total of 21 repeats, so my foundation will have a total of 22 picots. So if you were extending it to make it wider, you would be adding an additional 14 for each design repeat. So I'm going to keep going here. That's my next picot. So chain 5. Slip stitch, chain 1, and then extended double crochet through the top. So I will keep going until I have 22 total picots, and I will meet you back. Okay, I have all 22 of my picots for the contrasting color foundation. So now we're gonna chain 4 at the end and add the stitch marker, and then set that one aside, but do not turn because it's going to stay on this side. So now we're going to go back to the main color. And this chain 4 that we did at the end counts as the outside stitch plus a chain 1. So then we're going to work our triangle mesh stitches. So the triangle mesh stitches are a double crochet 2 together. So I'm going to yarn over, I'm going to insert hook through the top of that last extended double crochet that we did. Pull up a loop and go through 2. So that's the first leg of the triangle mesh. Yarn over, then we're going to go through the top of that next extended double crochet, pick up a loop, go through 2, and then go through all of them. And that makes our first triangle mesh stitch. So this one is an upward pointing triangle, and that outside stitch plus the chain one creates a half downward pointing triangle. So this one on the edge that are the half triangles don't count as a full triangle mesh. Then we're going to chain 2 and do the next triangle mesh stitch, but it's going to, the triangle mesh is always going to start in the same stitch the last one completed in. So go back through the top of that extended double crochet and pick up a loop, go through 2, that's the first leg, yarn over, go into the top of that next extended double crochet, pick up a loop, go through 2, and then go through all of them. So, and then in between the 2 upward pointing triangles creates a downward pointing triangle. So I'm going to keep going across, chain 2, and then do my next triangle mesh. So through the top of that extended double crochet, pick up a loop, go through 2, and then the next extended double crochet, pick up a loop, go through 2, and then go through all. So we're going to continue all the way across, doing chain 2 and then your next triangle mesh stitch. So you will have a total of 22 downward pointing triangles, 23 upward pointing triangles, and then 2 half downward pointing triangles at each end. So I will meet you at the end of that. Okay, I've completed my triangle mesh stitches all the way across, and I'm going to do my last half triangle at the end. So I'm going to chain 1 and then do the outside stitch in this same stitch my last triangle mesh was completed in. So that's my double crochet, and then chain 2. And we're going to go ahead and turn it over and work on the wrong side. We're going to leave the contrasting color the way it is. There is no wrong side for this one. So for the next row, the chain 2 counts as an outside stitch, and then I'm going to double crochet in the top of that next triangle mesh stitch. And those two, the chain 2 and the double crochet, create that first half triangle. That's the half upward pointing triangle. So I'm going to chain 2, and then I'm going to work triangle mesh stitches all the way across. So I'm going to work in the top of that same triangle mesh stitch, pick up a loop, go through 2, and then go through the top of the next triangle mesh stitch, pick up a loop, go through 2, and then go through all. Chain 2, and then do my next triangle mesh stitch. So we're going to keep going all the way across, chain 2, and then do your triangle mesh. And I will meet you at the end of this row. Okay, I finished the 22 triangle mesh across this side, so I'm going to chain 2 and then do my end half upward pointing triangle. So that's the same as a triangle mesh, but we're only skipping 1 chain. So there's the first leg, and then we skip 1 chain of that turning chain, and then the last leg goes in that second chain. So that makes the straight edge. This is a downward pointing triangle and an upward pointing triangle. It's just a half triangle each, and that makes that straight edge. And we're going to chain 4. Okay, now we need to mark several places here. So these first half triangles, do not count as a full triangle mesh stitch. So we're going to skip the first 4 downward pointing triangles. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and mark the 5th. So we didn't count this one because it's a half. We did 1, 2, 3, 4, and then mark the 5th. Then we're going to skip 6 more and mark the 7th. I'm going to keep doing that. Skip 6 and mark the 7th. And we have 4 left. And then our half triangle. Okay, so now we're ready for the contrasting color. So we're going to lay that across the triangles just like that. Remember, we did not turn it. The beginning chain is still on this side. Okay, now we're ready for the wrong side row of the contrasting color. And it's this chain 4 that we made counts as the outside stitch plus a chain 1. And the first stitch we're going to do is a triangle mesh that has, it's a back, the first leg is in the back and the last leg is in the front, because right now we're working on the wrong side, so we want the diagonals or the floating stitches to be on the right side, so that's why that one is going to be on the back. So yarn over, we want to insert our hook through the first downward pointing triangle window, go through those top of those 2 loops for the extended double crochet and pull them to the back, yarn over and pull up a loop and go through 2. So that's the back part of the triangle. Then yarn over, and then we're going to go into the top of that next extended double crochet, pick up a loop, go through 2, and then go through all to complete that triangle mesh. So that's that first part on the design on the right side. Then we're going to do 2 front stitches, so chain 2, the triangle mesh in the front, because that's the side of the work that's facing towards you. And there's the second one. Okay, and then we're going to do another triangle mesh. This one is going to have the first leg in the front and the second leg in the back, and that back leg is going to go through this marked window. So my chain 2 between the mesh stitches, yarn over, go through that same stitch, pick up a loop, go through 2. Now we're going to yarn over, pull the top of that next extended double crochet to the back, pick up a loop, go through 2, and then complete the triangle mesh. We can take that one out now. Okay, now we're going to do another triangle mesh where the first leg is in the back and the second leg is in the front. So yarn over, we're going to go back into that same stitch that we finished the last triangle mesh and pull it to the back, pick up a loop, go through 2, and then working in the front, go into that next extended double crochet, pick up a loop, go through 2, and then go through all and chain 2. So you can see that made that bead stitch right there. So now we're going to do 5 in the front, here's my 4th, and 1 more. And chain 2. So that is 1 repeat. So now we're going to do again where we have the first leg in the front, second leg in the back. So there's the first leg in the front. We're going through that marked downward pointing window, pulling the top of that extended double crochet to the back, and complete the triangle mesh. Whoops, I didn't get my yarn over. Chain 2, and the next one is a back triangle mesh with a first leg in the back and the second leg in the front. So pull the top of that same stitch to the back for the first leg, and then the second leg is in the front. And then we have 5 more front triangle meshes. There's 2. And 3. That's my last one. Okay, and for the end, that was my next repeat. So now we're going to do another one. We have the first leg in the back, in the front, and the second leg in the back. So here's the first leg in the front, yarn over, and now we're going to go through that marked downward pointing triangle, pull the top of that extended double crochet to the back, and do the second leg. Chain 2, and now we're doing a back and a front. So pull that top of that same to the back. That's the back leg. And then the next leg is in the front to complete that triangle. And then we have 2 more front stitches. And the ending one, we're going to have a front followed by a back. So there's my chain 2. Gonna do the first leg in the front, and this one is going through that last downward pointing triangle, not that half triangle. So pull that first chain to the back, do the last leg of that triangle. Then we're going to chain 1 and go back in that same chain and do your inside front, which is a double crochet, and then chain 2. and then you can turn your work. Get that out of there. So you can see the starting of the leaves. This is the diagonal at the side that you'll see going up the side, and then we have the start of 3 different leaves, and then the diagonal on the other side. So that shows you how to do the foundation stitches to create the leaves, and how to get set up and started on this scarf. So one more thing that I wanted to show you was that aside from just making a scarf, you can also use this pattern to make other things like a table runner, what I'm doing here, or a placemat or an afghan. You just can keep making it wider. And there is a design repeat of 2 leaves. So you can keep adding 2 more leaves to keep making it wider and wider. So for this one, I've only added 1 set of 2 leaves. And in the instructions, you'll see a number in parentheses is in blue. For example, it might say +2. So for each increment of these 2 leaves that you added, you would do you would use that +2 or whatever number it says, but the number in blue, you're going to be increasing by that number for every additional repeat you add, so you can make it wider and make something larger if you wish. So it gives you lots of options to use this pattern. So I hope you enjoy making this, and happy crocheting.